Welcome to Inside the Soundwave Internet TV Show, live from the beaches of Indian Florida, where all of your local musicians get to tell their music story, from the beginning to the present. And now, here's your host, Mr. Soundwave.
Here I am, and here's Billy Chapman. Today we have Billy Chapman on the show, finally after 2 weeks off. A bunch of confusion, holidays, blah, blah, blah. You know how it is. Bye, Santa.
Yeah, see you later.
Bye, Santa.
Fat guy.
We love you. We'll see you next year.
Yeah,
hopefully. We'll see you next year. Yep, today my featured guest, Brevard County, well-known Brevard County musician Billy Chapman. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much. Billy. Thank you. Really appreciate you having me.
It's great having
Very
you
nice.
on the show. I love it. Love to be back in the groove. New year. First guest of the year 2013 is Billy. And it's, like I said, it's great to be back doing this because Billy's got a lot of stuff to tell us about what he's been doing in Brevard for how many years? Quite a few years.
Yeah, 25 or 26 years. 1987 when I started playing
were you born
for a
here
living.
in Brevard, or were you born out of state?
No, I was born in Shirley, Mass. My dad was in was in the service, so I was born up there at Fort Devens. And I never saw it, though, until I was in my 20s. I went up there and saw it. It's real pretty, you know, with the rolling hills and horse farms. And
So you're born in Massachusetts.
that's right, Commonwealth.
So
yeah.
was I.
Oh, really? All right.
I was born in Boston, but we went to Pittsfield.
Very nice.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you weren't there very long, so you came down to Florida.
Yeah, my family moved. My dad was stationed in Germany, where my sister was born. My little sister was born a year and a half later in '68 in Germany. And we came back, missed the whole '60s here, moved back here in 1970. And we moved into Indialantic, actually, and for 6 months or a year. And I think my dad worked at the old Sears, which is still there.
On Babcock?
Yep. At the time, and he lived there for, we lived there for about a year, like I said, and we moved to Savannah, Georgia, for a few years, and out in the country for a couple years after that, and we moved back to Indialantic when I was 10. And my dad and grandfather had Chapman Auto Sales, and so Dad came back here to work with Opa there, and. So I was a little kid running around there in the 70s washing cars for $1 a piece. I'm thinking I was a big deal, you know.
Was it when you were 10? Were you in Indialantic?
Yes. Yeah, I went to Indialantic Elementary, and
It was a lot different then than it is now, I'm sure. It had to be.
It didn't look a lot different. I guess they have more portable, you know, education facilities now, you know.
Portable classrooms?
Yeah, I guess they got a couple portables now, but it didn't look a lot different. And, you know, I went to Hoover and Melbourne High School. I went for 9th grade, I went to MCC and met a few of my old friends, you know, that I still know now. So it's, pretty much a hometown kid.
Cool. Right here in Brevard. That's great. 10 years old running around. I know my wife was born in West Melbourne.
Oh?
So, but she says that long ago there was no road. The roads were pretty.
A lot of dirt roads.
You know, a lot of streets weren't there yet.
Yep.
You know, and I would imagine back in before you probably even in the '60s there had to be quite a change. But you said you were here in the Atlantic in the '70s.
Yeah, we moved here in 1976. We moved back I think in '76, and. Because I remember New Year's '77. I remember that, and with the summer after the summer that we came back, and but yeah, it was different. It was a little bit more of a pirate town still, you know, with the it was just a lot of saw palmetto. There wasn't a lot of the buildings that you have now. A lot of the beach structure wasn't there. There were just small little individual homes, right. Little shacks almost, you know.
A lot of the condos weren't up and down the beach.
There was. I remember when this condo went up, and that was a big deal in '78, and we all, you know, would hang out and, you know, throw rocks over the wall when they were building it, and then run when they were kind of,
But you're down in, you're just down the road a little ways in Melbourne Beach or somewhere.
I live in Melbourne Beach now.
Yeah,
I actually, when I lived here, I grew up right behind this building,
the building?
right back here in this neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah, this was my stomping
Oh,
ground.
wow,
This
right
was the
here.
Jiffy store I went to and bought skateboarder magazines, and
There's a lot of people back down in the specs.
Yeah.
Right here. It
Yeah.
goes in quite a ways.
Yep.
I know there's a gated community connected with it back there.
Yeah.
Well, what were you doing at 10? Well, you said about 10 years old, but you were then. Did you pick up a guitar yet?
I always loved music from the time when I was 4, or going back even farther than that. When we lived in Germany, my first words were not "mommy" or "daddy." It was tape. That's all I cared about. My dad had a reel-to-reel tape recorder, and music would come out, and I would just sit there, and I wanted tape. I wanted to play with that tape, and my dad caught me. He didn't let me mess with the tapes, but I saw him pulling them out of this little library, and he put them on, and I figured out how to get the tapes out. And so what I did, I took one of the tapes when he wasn't watching, and I grabbed one end of it, and I rolled it like a bowling ball across the living room, and then I went to the other side, rolled it back, and he wasn't real happy with me when he caught me doing that.
So this tape was reel to reel.
Reel to reel, yeah, quarter-inch, it was quarter-inch reel-to-reel tape.
Those were delicate too. Though.
Yeah, I messed up a couple of them, and. But I learned that was music to me. It was tape. That was before I said mom or dad. So I was really excited about music at a very young age. Sgt. Pepper's was one of the first albums that I really loved. Jim Croce was a huge hero of mine. Was my first musical hero.
Time in a Bottle.
Time in a Bottle. Don't Mess Around with Jim and all the love songs but I remember that I asked about him because I was struck by his face. He had the very the Eastern European features with the mustache and went down. And I said, who is this guy? And this was 1971 or whatever. And everybody said, oh, he just passed away like 6 months ago. Right. And I remember thinking, he's not here anymore. I mean, but as a little kid, you're putting things like that together. What's reality and what's not.
That was a rough year because I think Morrison went in 71.
Morrison, Joplin, and Hendrix.
It was a bad year.
And it wasn't a good year
for music.
We miss all those people a lot. But I was very interested in music. I loved the Carpenters. My dad finally just gave up and showed me how to use the turntable and the reel-to-reel tape recorder, so I stopped breaking tapes and actually use the equipment correctly.
Use it like it's supposed to be used, right?
That's right. And they finally showed me how to do that, and I had my own little record player in my room too, with little records like Puff the Magic Dragon and Me and My Lollipop Tree and all those things that I would listen to those. For hours, and that was a huge reading and music were the biggest part of my life.
Well, music,
sure.
We all back then music was a big part of everybody's life. I think it still is, but I think it was more back then for some reason or other. Maybe because
now it's TV and internet.
Yeah, TV and internet and other things. Music is always there in everybody's mind.
These dummy devices we all have attached to our hips now.
Back then we were always into what the Doors were doing or what the Beach Boys were doing, Beatles, the Rolling Stones. And today there's so many. You can't. You don't know who's going where with a lot of them now. Mm-hmm. There's so many of them.
Well, it seems like the trend is now has now come back to much less music from each musician, but they make so much more money on that. That there's. They get what they need from you can make one or two songs and you can make millions and even tens of millions of dollars
on that one
and make your fortune, and then you
Gangnam
have a job
Style.
being a producer forever. And you get to go sit in that chair and produce for the rest of your life.
A lot of them are doing that too.
It's like being in the Olympics. You get a gold medal, you got a job for life. You be coaching forever with no trouble.
Well, look at the rap industry.
Yep.
They're big like that. One person makes it big, gets a whole few good songs out there, and the next thing you know, they have their own studio and they have other rappers under their own label.
Well, we'll get back. We got to get back to the history here of Billy.
Oh,
but
history.
With the back door thing that I'm getting with Mark. I don't know if you know Mark Connors or not.
I know. I'm not sure.
Okay,
He's talking about Mark Connors' back door.
Yeah, we're talking about. Yeah, I am actually the one he just spoke about on the show the other day with me. He's a big time country Nashville artist, and he has his own TV shows, radio shows.
Oh,
he's got everything. Yeah, he's big time, and he's refusing and trying to open up all the musicians' eyes and saying, "Look, we know you don't have $1 million to get in the door." To get on the radio, and $1 million maybe to get into the Sony and Capitol, whatever, Everybody's shifting around and coming in the back way now with internet, putting their music with smaller studios and record labels, because the big guys just want so much that you can't get in. They'll take all your money. They'll take 85%, and they'll give you 10 or 15%.
Yeah.
So, well, anyways, what I'm trying to say is, I'm part of that movement with my man Mark, that we're all going to try to get around, and we're going to take in and come in that other way, and we're going to kind of like surprise them. Of course, they already know that, but there's too many of us musicians out there that need to get into the studio and get their records out there, original music too, and so everybody can hear it, and they can't get in.
Yeah.
They can't get in, because if you do get in, you're going to stay broke for a while.
Well, it's interesting. You can make great music, and there are myriads and myriads of places to promote that music.
Right.
And you can get out there and try. What I found is that there's just the market is absolutely awash in pretty darn good acts. People that are working hard at a small studio trying to do their best and making their music. It's very interesting to see, and there's of course with all the Reverb Nations and all the services now. There's an entire industry based around people's TuneCore. There's so many, and with now with the cloud and all, there's just there things are happening so quickly now that it is basically the Old West on the internet, and we have an opportunity to we have lots more options. And you have to be creative. It's not when we were kids, it was the rich and famous contract to Sony or some large, conglomerate company, and that was the only way you made it. Nowadays, that's could be possibly sketchy to do a large company, because the future of these companies is not sure.
Yeah.
With the way everything's going now, people are just buying MP3s and whatnot.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of underground stuff going on too, where they're pirating all the songs and stealing the songs and music and all that kind of stuff going on. Well, anyways, we got to go. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to watch one of Billy's videos for 3 or 4, 5 minutes while we'll take a pause.
Line.
Huh?
Get in line.
Get in line is the name of the video.
Yep.
Billy picked it out himself.
This is from House of Blues in Orlando.
Great place.
Billy Chapman Band. We opened up for Robin Trower. It's been about a year and a half, maybe year and a half, 2 years ago. Dave Clark is on bass guitar in this particular video, and my old buddy John Paul McCune is a drummer.
Good drummer.
And so check it out. Hope you guys enjoy it.
Yep. We'll be right back when we got to get back to Billy's history here in Brevard County and his great music. Don't go away. Watch the video.
freedom, yeah. If you really want to make a difference, never get it right. If you really want to make a difference, get it right.
Okay, we're back. I can take my break sign down now. I'm confused. You're confusing me now. Already a break.
It's a nice sign, though. I like it.
Yeah. So he could tell me. Well, all right. Well, okay, we're back. Good video. I hope you watched that. Excellent video. And you've got more of those, I'm sure.
Yep.
And you've got a website or YouTube site?
Yes, you can. If you go to YouTube and you type in Billy Chapman, that is the name of my channel. And that particular video was shot by Rich Adaman, who recorded my 2 albums ago when I did my solo acoustic album. I recorded it at Rich's studio and at his house over the course of a few years. Back from 2000 to 05, right after I got married. So it kind of off and on, definitely. It was we weren't on fire, but we finished. It was ended up being a really nice little intimate album. And Rich still is in the business doing video and audio work, and he's a great guy, good friend.
Good.
Yeah.
Is that CD or still available for sale?
Yeah, it's called Sweet Nothings. I'm sorry, I forgot to say the name, but that was my solo acoustic album, was Sweet Nothings, and I think it sounded really great.
And they can buy that online. No?
Absolutely, yeah. You can go to billychapman.com and go to my music, go to the music tab, and it's for sale right on there. You can also get the MP3s, as we were talking about before.
Right.
From you can go to Amazon, iTunes.
It's usually like 55 stores. I know I hit a whole bunch. And I put them on TuneCore. They distribute it to, I think it's up to 65 stores now.
Yeah.
Who knows? There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of stores.
Those all internet stores?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, very
and
nice.
just like Amazon.
CD Baby.
Right. The CD Baby. I'm on CD Baby as well. That's
all
right.
of them. It's an incredible package. You can get a CD out there to many places around the world. Mm-hmm. For them to buy them, bingo.
It's a new world order.
You see the change.
It's crazy. Yeah,
I was trying to tell you earlier. I don't want to get channeled in on that.
Don't get
Mark.
you started, right?
Well, Mark's got me started now, and I'm trying to hold back, and I am going to hold back, but I'm going to do a special show somewhere in the middle of these shows. I'm going to do an extra show, and I'm going to do it with Mark, and it's going to be Skype. So we'll talk about that later because we got to find out when you picked up your first guitar. We're still trying to figure that one out.
Well, as I told you, I was always into music. I tried the piano when I was 5 years old. My folks bought a piano, and it was this is 1972 or 3 or something. I was just a little guy. It would have been 71 if I was 5. Wow. I remember. I didn't like to practice very much, though. I enjoyed the idea of being a musician, and I've run into this a lot of times as a teacher over the last 10 years. That there's a lot of kids that like the idea of being a musician. What they didn't really count on was all the work that it takes to become a player. It takes many thousands of hours.
They think they're just going to pick up a guitar and be good at it immediately. Yeah. And, I'm going to rock.
Yeah, they come in with a haircut, and I'm like, actually, that comes later, But that's all right.
Get good first.
That's right.
Then get the look.
It is a pursuit. It is not, you're an artist, and it takes hundreds of hours just to really begin to see if you're, just to get to the point if you're really sure you want to commit. Right. Actually, and everyone, I remember, in several times in my musical career, I've had to come to a difficult decision. Is this something that I really am going to spend all my time doing? Am I really going to give this the amount of time it deserves? And that's a huge question because is it a hobby, or am I going to be real about this, and to what degree? And I think that's a decision everybody has to make themselves. But anyway, I tried the piano at 5. I went to Hoover Junior High School, Mr. Wood's band class, and who's still around. Hey, Mr. Wood, how you doing? He's I saw him a couple years ago. He's still around. I tried trumpet for a couple of years, and I went to when I was in the 10th grade. I think that was 7th and 8th grade. I played the trumpet and dropped it. I went to a school in 9th grade without a band. They didn't have a band, so I had to drop the trumpet. When I went 10th grade, I was at a white elephant sale at my church. My friend of mine had a guitar that he was selling, and I remember he was playing the guitar, and he was holding it, playing the C chord. And he looked over at me. He said, "Billy, you should play this guitar. You should buy this guitar." And I was like, "Yeah, I should buy this guitar." I don't know what, and I remember I walked. It was $35. I walked out. I walked outside, and it was a clear blue sky day, right in the middle of winter time. And I remember it was cold, and I looked up at the sky, and I said, I am going to play guitar. And it was one of the first real decisions that I made in my life. As a young kid, you don't kids don't like that commitment thing, But
right.
And I went home and I played that guitar. I bought a Jim Croce songbook on Monday. That was on Saturday, I believe. I bought a Jim Croce book on a Monday. I still have it, and I've been playing every day since.
Wow.
32 years.
Great. And you just keep mentioning Jim Croce.
Well, he was my first.
He was your inspiration, kind of.
Well, I have my Uncle Dave Chapman, my dad's little brother, played guitar. He had long hair, in the early 70s before he joined the Navy and retired. He's retired from the Navy now, but he, drove to Alaska and lived, in a cabin for a year with these people, and I was just like, oh, as a little kid, that's the guy you look up to,
yep.
And he played guitar. He played, Mr. Bojangles, and he played the acoustic 60s numbers, and really I was the first live show that wasn't at a church that I was ever at. He would just sit down and play in the living room, and my little sister would get a dress on, and everybody would gather in a circle in the living room and watch Uncle Dave play some songs. And I was like, wow, this is somebody I know who is a talented guy who can play songs and stuff. And that never left me. And when I was 14, he showed me my first song. He showed me House of the Rising Sun.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first tune I ever learned. It was not a Christian song,
right.
It was as a kid, but I sang in choir from the time I was very small.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good beginning.
That was probably helpful.
Yeah, it's we'll call it a nurturing environment, rather than, they don't throw as many beer cans at church.
So that was what you said, 10, 13, somewhere's in there years old.
I was 14 when I bought my first guitar.
1
year later, I traded it in on the guitar I'll play on later. Actually, I have an old Sigma, and Uncle Dave went with me, and we traded in my trumpet and my old guitar, and I bought that. I remember it was a Sigma DR35, and I still have it, like I said, and it's been actually on mothballs for about 15 years, and I just got it working again. So it's really strange to go back home, kind of.
How come you kind of retired it for a while?
It was at a shop here in town, and it got refinished, and then a piece came unglued off of it, and I just kind of put it in the case and put it away, and I said, well, I'll fix that, and I had to get another guitar to use, because when you play live, you need pickup and all that in it, and I had played it for so long, I was kind of in the interest to give it a break, because I'd played just thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of hours on it between gigs and practicing when I was a kid and playing at church and whatnot.
Now you got it out again.
And now I got it jamming again. It is
and
absolutely home. It's just so funny to play something, to go back home like that. When you have an instrument, it's an old friend.
An old friend. And how many good musicians hang on to their Strats?
Yeah.
They're down to the wood, or you can see the paint. Finish is gone and Strats. Springsteen.
Yep.
I think
good old Telly.
Yeah, man. It looks like it's been through the Civil War.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Now, what was the first band you played in? It was in Brevard County. Can you remember that?
Yeah, I did. Like I said, I did a few when I was in high school. About a year after I started playing guitar, we had Wednesday, Sunday nights. It was at St. Mark's Methodist Church over here, and we had Wednesday and Sunday nights. We had a junior high, senior high group, and we would sing these songs. I stole one of the, I didn't steal, but I took one of the mimeograph sheets, copied sheets of the music home, and started learning all the songs after I started learning guitar. And I just quietly did this. I didn't, because there was already somebody playing guitar in the group, so I was able to just kind of prepare. And one day the guitarist couldn't make it. They were going to sing, they had a little group going over to Carnegie Gardens by the hospital to sing for the old folks, and their guitar player was sick, and friend, somebody, one of the leaders in the church group asked me if I could play guitar for this thing, and we went and did it, and it was my first actual, like, one of my first actual gigs, you know, that I did, and somebody passed away, unfortunately, during the course of it down the hall from where we were singing, but I guess I was killing him. That was, sorry. Anyway, but, we're not dead, right?
Yeah. So
I get the break sign for that one. That was
So you traveled through the 70s and you got into the 80s here in Brevard County.
Yeah, it was probably 81,
81?
When I started playing every day. It was probably 1981.
Here in Brevard.
Yeah, that was, and then I graduated high school in 84, went in the service and played
Where'd you
out.
graduate in Melbourne?
Melbourne High.
Melbourne High.
Melbourne High, 84,
Wow.
class of 84, and I went directly in the military, and I was in the Air Force out in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And I went out there to First Baptist Church of Cheyenne, and I started playing in the singles group out there. So I got I got a lot of training from that. You know, you learn to work a crowd, and you start, you know, you clap your hands, and then at the end it's home, you know, and you get to see how a crowd works.
That's cool.
Yeah, and that was how I got a lot of my training, is in an intimate room atmosphere with people like this far away.
Right.
It feels so funny to me to play and on the radio or without people around.
People, right.
You know.
You're used to an audience.
Yeah, you have to get used to that.
That's
you
good,
know.
though. That's really to be able to feel comfortable like that. How
Yeah.
long were you in the Air Force?
2 years, 9 months. Yeah.
Very good.
Yep.
It's a good group of military to be in.
Yep.
And good
You
place
get
right
to
here.
fly a plane?
Patrick Air Force Base right down the
You get
road.
to fly a plane?
No, they
Oh.
wouldn't let me near a plane. No, we had, and Cheyenne, Wyoming, they only had one-way airplanes.
One what?
They had one-way airplanes.
No.
The MX missiles. Yeah.
Oh,
But it was,
yeah.
nobody was flying those.
No.
Unmanned.
Yeah.
The computers flew them, I guess.
There you go.
know. But I actually worked at the heating plant. I was, you watch the gauges in the control room and
Boiler room
yeah.
type thing, the power facility.
It would give heating
Air Force
to the
janitor.
Cheyenne, Wyoming, of course, is gets 70 below.
Gorgeous,
so
though. Because I lived in Colorado, and
pretty,
Colorado Springs.
Cheyenne Mountain?
We used to go up to Wyoming,
Yeah.
drive up.
Were you by Cheyenne Mountain?
No, Cheyenne Mountain is actually in Colorado.
Oh, okay.
But Cheyenne, Wyoming.
That's where NORAD is, right?
That's where I lived.
Where?
I could see the mountain.
Oh, really?
Pikes Peak is where I
Right.
lived, right in Manitou Springs at the bottom of the mountain. And NORAD was just a mountain away, kind of connected there.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Cheyenne Mountain, that's NORAD. That's where
Oh,
all
I know.
the, everything comes
I've been in
in.
the opening. I got to go to the open. I didn't go
You
in.
could
They
see-
had
yeah, you
tours.
could see the
Oh,
front.
wow, you went there.
Oh, yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
that's cool.
They had tours. We could have gone in and got us not going all the way in. They don't bring you all the
Well,
way
you know what's really cool? The entire place underneath the mountain
It's nice up
is actually off the ground a few feet. It's all on big springs.
Yeah, the big spring, so when it gets
so
a direct
the-
hit, it doesn't
Yep,
crumble.
you won't
That's
feel anything.
incredible.
It's
Well,
something, yeah.
Did you like Wyoming when you were there?
No, I didn't like. It was flat, rocky,
Cold.
I mean, I'm from Melbourne, Florida. I was
Yeah, you must have didn't. You must
6
have hid
feet
the
deep
winter.
snow and
they get hit.
it was and extreme cold. And the wind. The worst part was the wind. It just blew 70 miles an hour every day. It is a beautiful place. If you go south, you're in Fort Collins, Colorado.
That's where I used to go to bowl.
Yeah, and then if you go north, you're in Laramie, Wyoming, which is again, it's in the Rockies. You see the mountains,
Fort
that you see on the beer can. The huge mountains and the forested and all this stuff. We were there was no trees. We called the telephone pole the state tree. Because that's the only thing standing above 4 feet high in Cheyenne. These twisted little trees that are,
Yeah.
and there was, cows and
Horses and
cows and horses and a lot of barbed wire.
they liked a lot of country music there. I'm
Oh
sure.
yeah.
They
Yeah,
sh-
I
they
used
sure
to hang
did.
out at the Cheyenne Club downtown, and right around the corner was the Mayflower. Where all
Did
the
you
long
play any
hairs
music
and-
there? Did you
Nah.
play any guitar?
Well, I did in at the church, but no, I
Church.
never
Never went into any of the.
never broke out into the
Just stayed in the military group.
Well, it was on the church. It was a
rather.
civilian church. It was
Okay.
out in town. But yeah, I played there, and actually I played.
So you're doing Christian music?
Yeah.
Well, I guess if it was.
Yes, it was absolutely. It was. I was playing gospel music, and
Awesome.
and during the Cheyenne Days Rodeo, they actually asked me to come and sing for the people who were having a little church service, and I did. I sang the. I got a river of life flowing out of me. These types.
I know those
they
songs.
needed somebody, sing along guy, and that's what I did.
Amazing
and that
Grace?
was, we did Amazing Grace. I can't remember all the songs we did.
We got hymnal books.
Yeah.
We let the people say, "Go ahead, pick a page."
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
page 73, whatever. And my pastor would go. We'd all look at each other. Okay, and he would know them all. We would just follow along with him. But that's how we did it.
Sure.
It's a church.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was it was a good time. It was, like I said, it was a real nurturing environment. To
When
learn.
did we got to go to
craft.
break? But when did you get out of the Air Force in the 80s?
It was 1987.
when you left the you got done, and then you came back to Florida.
I came directly back.
Back.
Right back. It was
back
84
to
to 87.
Brevard.
Yep.
Cool.
And that's when I started playing. But that's for after the break.
In 87, and then we can take it from 87 and get
Yeah.
you right up. We're going to take, what we're going to do now? We're going to let Billy play. I keep
Nice.
wanting to say, and I'm going to say it on the air.
Let him play.
I don't think he's related, but one of my other good friends that was already on the show is a Chapman.
Paul?
No. Dave.
Oh, Dave Chapman. Same name as my uncle. That's funny.
Yeah. I don't know if you know Dave.
Not yet.
Okay, he did like one of the earlier shows.
Huh.
He's a bass player with a local band all his life right here in Brevard.
You kidding me, really?
No, I'm not kidding you. He's got long blonde hair down to his knees or mid back.
Oh, you know what? I think I
Big
saw
tall
him.
guy, big tall.
I think I may have met him
Bass
somewhere.
player.
Yeah, I may. And
Something
I'm
the
sure I
Nas-
saw him on
the Gnomes.
Facebook.
What's the name of that band? I can't think of the Gnomes.
I don't
Something
remember.
little. It's a cool band. Anyways,
The Garden
But
Gnomes?
I know Dave, and now I get to have Billy on the show, and it's a Chapman thing going on here.
Who knows? Maybe we're related from back somewhere on the boat.
You
it's
might.
hard to say.
You never know, really, because I think he's from out here. They came down here from up north too, so it's interesting.
Yeah.
Dave, not Dave. Billy's going to play a song for us now. We're going to let him go into the recording studio next door, let him set up. We're going to take a short break, and then we're going to see Billy play a nice. What's the name of the song you're going to play, Billy?
Back in the Days. That's off of my newer album.
Okay, Back in the Days. Check the song out. We'll be right back, and then we'll be right in the recording studio and check Billy out. Great song. Thank you. You're right. Don't go away.
Back comments in the evening at a party, and I'm talking of the life I've had. I was a newsman with the radio, and in my youth said, don't you know I was quite the lad. I could have wept two of you back in the days, my friend. You should have seen the sky so blue back in the days, my friend. I remember horse-drawn fire trucks and parties on the aqueducts, and how we used to sing and play. In the big war, everybody pulled together. Me and Scotty joined, we kissed our wives and marched away. Said we were strong and we were true back in the days, my friend. You should have seen the sky so blue back in the days, my friend. Ah da la di di da, ah da di da, ah da 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 da, ah la di di da, ah da di da, ah da 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 da. An adventure, a distraction, it was boredom, it was action, it was nothing like I'd ever seen. The brotherhood and laughter, the horror and the aftershock to this young lad from Boiler Green. And now I'm older, maybe smarter, still feel I'm in the starter lane, wishing I had not been so blue. It's a novel, it's an epic, it's a better time. Decrepitness is coming to a theater near you. We worked hard and we made do back in the days, my friend. You should have seen the sky so blue back in the days, my friend. That we were strong and we were true back in the days, my friend. You should have seen the sky so blue back in the days, my friend. Ah da la la di di da, ah da di da, ah da 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 da, la la di di da, ah da di da, ah da 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 da. Drinking pints and making comments in the evening at a party, and I'm talking of the life I've had.
All right, we're back. What did you think of that song? Let's hear it for the tip. I sat behind the main mixing boards while Billy was playing, and it's so good to hear live music like Billy can do. It gives you kind of a goose pimples. Just listening to that, to be able to be in the same room having that kind of music being played with that kind of talent.
I appreciate it.
It's really good. Y'all got to go hear Billy in his band playing. He's going to tell you some of the places they'll be playing in the next couple of weeks, and maybe a little further ahead in a couple months too. We want to get back to where we were in the 1990s.
That's right. Let's see. It's kind of weird. I got to run through 25 years of memories in 10 minutes or so. But when I got out of the service, I worked a construction job for a short time. I started realizing, I saw a guy playing in Gainesville. I went with a friend up there, and I was starting to think, I could do this. I could do that. What that guy's doing, I could do that. And so I went to the old wine gallery, and they had a jam session there, and the guy said, "Oh yeah, just come in Tuesday, have a half hour's worth of music." So I went home for 2 weeks and practiced this music. I had my half hour down, and I went in to play, and the guy said, "Oh, that was canceled. The Screaming Iguanas of Love are playing," and I was so mad. 'Cause I was all ready. I had my gear and borrowed stuff to. I thought I needed a PA. I didn't know what was going on. And I was so mad. I said, I was sitting in my car just fuming, and I said, I'm going to go get a job playing music. I'm just going to do it. And I went across the street to the Holiday Inn. They didn't need me. I said, go down to the Hilton and talk to those guys. And they hired me for 4 nights a week. I played my half hour's worth of music. And he hired me on the spot he said, well, it's got to be less than $100 a night. And I was at the time making $150 a week working road construction in my uncle's company. And I was like, I'll do it for $75. So, this is 87, or whatever. I was $300 a week. I'm doubling my income and not going in the sun. I was pretty excited about that.
Yeah. And in 87, that was pretty good income, too.
It was good money.
Sure it is.
And especially, I was just getting a little tired of suffering in the sun. That was a tough job.
In Florida, yes.
Yeah, it was very hot, But anyway, I played there at the Hilton for a short time. I went over and I got a job at some people came in, saw me playing there, and asked me to come play at it was Players Cafe. It was right next to Dr. Joe's, if you recall.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the days, back in '87 or whatever, and I started playing there, I remember. And when I was going to Dr. Joe's and seeing the bands that were over there, I met Billy Van Riper. I saw the Puzzlers playing, and I remember watching that guy play, and I was like, he plays it like a piano. I said, he's not playing it like you think of a guitar player, chinga jigga jigga jigga, G G G C C. He was playing licks and runs and these classical things and
up and down the neck,
all up and down the neck, and all these I was definitely what I would call a GCD song leader. That was what I had done. Right. I wasn't really. I didn't want to play lead. I didn't want to learn jazz chords. I was very. I don't know. I wanted to do one thing. I didn't really want to be a great musician. I just wanted to sing songs at the time. And him and Charles, his twin brother, kind of took me under their wing, and I got to know the Puzzlers. I got to meet Kurt Austin plays with us currently in Billy Chapman Band. 25 years later, he still plays with us. He's a great bass player. But I met Billy and Chuck took me under their wing and answered my questions that I had about music and guitar and musical structure and songwriting. And Chuck did the first recordings that I ever did of my own song. And I don't... God, I can't even remember the name of the song now, but this is back in those days, They lived over close to Dr. Joe's. at the time, and I spent a lot of time hanging out with those guys. And the Puzzlers in the meantime, I played with Buck Barefoot, John Paul and I. John Paul's my drummer, J.P. McCune. He and I were playing with. I was playing bass with Buck Barefoot, and Buck found John Paul, and we were playing with Buck, and that's when J.P. and I started playing, and he was playing with Locals Only band at the time, and so I played. We played for a while, probably about a year with Buck. I joined a band, went on the road called Jesse James, and we were a Southern rock, hair band sort of thing back in the days. And this is getting up into early '90. We were together for about a year. I left that band, and Billy and the Puzzlers broke up, and Billy said, "Hey, let's do a band," And that was the beginning of A Million Tiny Fingers. And I said, "Well, I know the drummer. I know who I want to." Pick, and we got JP playing drums. Butchie Ballard was from the Mills Brothers was our first bass player for a short time, and then we hired Greg Young. He got a job and had to leave. We hired Greg Young, and then we hired William too. He's William Stallworth. He was our conga player. So then we had 2 guitars, bass, drums, and congas. So it was kind of unusual. It was more of a Latin jazz setup.
Right, with the congas in there.
But we were rock and roll. I was rock and roll. Everybody else was capable of playing jazz, pretty much. And so, I would come with these little ideas for songs. We wrote "People Who Beat Their Dogs Don't Go to Heaven." I'd come with these little ideas and the lyrics. And these guys would come up with these slamming ideas, to put them together. And, so it was a magic moment in showbiz, man. We did a lot. We came pretty close to, making it. I guess we didn't, but we had a lot of fun. Played a few thousand gigs and made some money. And then we.
You must have got real tight though. The group must have been really tight.
Oh, it was something. I have some live recordings. We would play. Fast, we would get excited and play fast. It's funny. We were interested in enjoying life more than we were being good businessmen. I kind of, it's one of those things. I wish I knew then what I know now. But that's that's neither here nor there.
Right.
But then I joined. We did a smaller. Greg and John Paul and I did a smaller version of the Fingers. Just a 3-piece version, so we could get out there and make better money. And then that was the Karmic Tricycle. And then we were playing in that band, when we'd opened up for Buddy Guy, I think, and Billy joined us to do the Fingers for that gig. And then we did a few gigs with the Fingers when we had a gig where we could afford to bring in the whole band.
Right.
And
that's you played basically right here in Brevard?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Here in Orlando, House of Blues, and here in Brevard.
Can you name some of the places?
We played at Shooters. We played at the Lazy Bean. Those places are both gone now. We played a million places.
I love the Lazy Bean.
Yeah, that was a great spot.
It was.
And
I can't believe they're gone.
I know. Good folks too. We played.
Did you do much up Cocoa Beach?
We did. Yeah, we did Coconuts. Not a lot, but we did that. We played Max Fifth Ave more than any other single place for sure. We had kind of the house band gig there.
Right, that's good.
And it was cool. It was. It's not a great career plan, to being a house band unless you're doing other things as well.
Right.
But we didn't really go on the road, which would have helped us a lot. But live and learn. And
roads. It's a tough. It's a tough journey.
It's tougher now, probably than it's ever been, as far as gas prices and competition.
Like they said the other day, when you do a gig on the road and you go out on the road and it costs you $10,000. And
you only make 8
to make.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're still a couple thousand behind.
Yeah.
They said that's why a lot of bands aren't going out and doing a whole
Well, plus with the economy the way it is, there's people that lost their job as whatever, and then I can play guitar. I'll get into the I'll start picking guitar and playing at the places around town. Of course, they're willing to play for a lot less, and than I am or whatever. Sometimes, and the young guys coming up, they do the same thing. I did it when I was starting out. I played for very little. The money's the same now. Really, as it was in the 80s when I started.
It matches.
Well, no, I mean it's the same.
Yeah.
It's just more expensive to live.
Oh yeah, it's the same. Pay wise is the same.
Yeah. There's a lot less money.
It might have come down a little bit
It
though.
did.
Because there's a lot of places that don't want you to pay you unless you do a couple freebies for them, and then they'll consider if they'll put you on for more.
Yeah,
but they get those freebies out of you.
Yeah, the karaoke kind of killed it, for live music. I remember
the
DJs, they businessmen found a cheaper way to do business, and but that's the way of the world, I still have more work than I can do.
I'm sure you are busy,
and it's a good thing, but.
We're union people. See, I'm from Massachusetts.
Oh, really?
Like I told
You're right.
you. And I didn't move down here until 85.
Uh-huh.
And I still am a union.
Really?
Musicians union member. It's tight up there. It's not in Florida, though. You know how it is.
Right.
In Massachusetts, you can't play in a club unless you're union.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the union has all the clubs.
Ah, okay.
And then the union will go to call the musicians union up and say, you got some bands for me? And
right.
And so they don't have that here in Florida.
No. That would be great. That would be great if they did. But
it's pretty tough up there. It's a different ballgame than down here. It's like night and day. I can't believe that. It's just the owners down here just do what they want to do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, they can.
And the musicians are all working their asses off.
Sure.
And I'll say that they're working their asses off, doing what they do best, playing good music, and struggling. It's not easy nowadays.
Well, the moving on to, I guess we're looking at a break here, but the Billy Chapman Band, we just did a CD. It was right when we did that video. We went to the Zone out in Melbourne.
Excellent.
With Mark.
Excellent.
And he recorded us a new album called Rosalia's Dream. That's Billy Chapman Band. That's our latest thing. That's where the song, back in the days, that was one of the songs on that album. And we're really happy with it. I had it mastered by Bob Olson from Motown. He's he was like the token white guy in Motown, their mastering engineer. And so I was very fortunate to meet him and to have been introduced to him. And
that's nice.
Yeah,
like
it's huge, and
he's
a great guy.
And a good group at the Zone too. That's doing a nice job over there too.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. There's a really professional group, and I had tried to do the recording all myself, and man, I tell you, that's a lot of hats. You got to write, record, arrange, plan. You have to do, and it's to be a technician is its own job,
right?
And I decided, it's tough, it is hard, and it's a lot of information, and then to combine that with the being creative is very difficult. It was. So I said, I'm going to pay somebody else.
Well, it's like doing an operation on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it hurts.
Yeah. It's really kind of neat that you can see the whole thing. You see the production side of it, the engineer side of it, the musician side of it. A lot of people don't understand. They don't see that.
Well, from trying it. I tried to do it, and I started realizing. I mean, I made a 10 song or whatever, 10 or 11 song CD up myself, and took it around to some people to let them listen to it, because I knew there's no way I could have been objective about it at this point. I've listened to all these songs 1,000 times and played every note. There's no way I can say, oh yeah, this is really radio ready or not. So I was taking it around, and they all said the production value. Songs are great. You need work on the production, and I was like, look, I'm gonna get somebody who's a pro to turn the knobs and do that job, and I'm just going to give that away. Give that part of the job to someone else.
There
and
you
pay
go.
them to do it, and then I can just be a guitar player, an arranger,
Right.
do all these other. It's still a lot of work.
Yeah.
Still 6 months.
You need to be focused on the writing and the music and everything, like
Yeah.
I was just telling TC Ridge. You
Right.
don't need to be worrying about all the other stuff when you come in to record or putting music together. You need to be comfortable mindset on what your music is.
Creating that
Focused on the music.
Yeah, getting that execution of what that is in your head is it's a process, and it takes a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a science, soon to be an art form, as Chuck Van Riper would say.
Uh-huh.
That's
Yeah.
I mean, and it really is.
It's a little bit of
And
everything.
It's enough with the words, the lyrics, and the timing and everything, but then sit in front of a board with a couple thousand knobs on it,
Yeah,
and go ahead and then get into Pro Tools or
They
whatever.
add into that the computer with a million different options.
It's too much.
and
It really
plugins.
is too much.
And
there's
And you found somebody, you said from Motown?
yeah, that was Bob Olson
Yeah, I
from
mean,
Motown.
Good grief. How can you not? Can't go wrong there.
The lead singer from Orleans
Oh, yeah.
introduced me to him.
Another good group.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed now. I can't think of his name offhand, but I met him at a benefit with Dave Clark. We did for Java John when his wife had passed away. We played a benefit up there for her, Java Jen, and I met the singer from Orleans up there, and he gave me. I told him, I said, "Well, I'm thinking about mastering the album." He said, "I got the only guy for you.
There you go.
This is the only cat that I go to," and it was an affordable price. And I called him up, and he did the work for me and did a great job. And
There you go.
and he's got, you talk about stories. I mean, this guy, like,
He's
he
got a
remembers recording Michael Jackson and
Hey.
and Aretha Franklin, and I mean, God, it was like it's a treasure trove of information from this guy. He's not even 70 yet, and he's just lived this life that we.
You're fortunate.
We're very fortunate to have.
to get somebody like that.
Yeah, and he's up in Nashville. So I never actually set eyes on him really.
Believe it or not, that's where they all are.
Yeah, for a lot of
I'm
the
not.
mastering.
Everybody I've talked to is stationed either in Memphis or Nashville.
Yeah, Memphis. That'd be a fun town to go to.
And we just had D'Amato down here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know John, but he's another blues player from Memphis, from
Okay.
Nashville, from Memphis, under a record label up there, and he did a show live here with me in December.
Nice.
St. Blues guitars.
Mhm.
Nice guitar. Nice, good guy, great musician. The rest of the people around him were putzes, but John is a great guy, and I love John D'Amato. I think the world of him, but the rest of the I'm sorry, but
It's all right.
But anyways, yeah, they're all in Nashville and they're all in Memphis. If you can get a connection in there, if you can get somebody in there to do it for you, that somebody like you found, that's a blessing.
Yeah, it was a real having tried to
And you
do the music and the production and all this other stuff. It made me really capable of, when I asked, Mark, I say, hey, what are you doing? He'd say, oh, whatever. I'm, doing. Setting the compression on. All of a sudden, for the first time, I understood what he was talking about.
And I'll bet you could see the difference between when you came in there with that or sent it, and then when you got it back.
I could play. Yeah, I could. The
amazing,
is
isn't it?
phenomenal, and the album just sounds absolutely great. It's the best sounding thing I've ever made. And
that's out there for sale, though, right?
Absolutely, it's on Amazon.com. It's on iTunes for sale.
And plus all the other
Billy Chapman Band, and the album is called Rosalia's Dream. And Rosalia was a name that I actually kind of created from my wife's middle name, Rosa. And Leatrice is my mother-in-law, my wife's mom. And so I was like, hey, we were going to have a daughter. And I said, I know, I got the perfect name, Rosalia. That's it. That's going to be your new family name. She was like, it's going to be Rowan. So I got voted down. I said, well, you carry the baby. You can call her whatever you like.
Yeah. But you had the idea.
So then so I was like, well, I gotta use this name for something. This is a cool creative thing. So I called the album Rosalia's Dream. That's where that name came from.
Tell us people where you're playing coming up here.
Well, let's see.
This week, next week, in January, and where you at? Where can they find you this week?
Now, well, tonight is the 10th of January, and I'll be I'll have my acoustic trio. John Paul's going to play djembe, and I have John Holland playing with me on bass tonight. And that's out at World of Beer in Vieira at the Avenues.
I know where that is.
Yep.
Yeah.
From 9 to 12, we're going to be out there doing an acoustic trio. Tomorrow I'll be at Doubles. Friday night, the 11th, I'll be at Doubles Beachside. I do pretty much every other.
South Patrick?
Yeah, South Patrick. I do every other Friday
Dang,
there. A lot of the time.
I didn't know that.
Kind of my only running.
Every other Friday.
Pretty much every other Friday.
And what do you got? The whole group there? Or
just me and my guitar.
Okay.
Yep. And then that's another solo job.
Man, I hadn't been to Doubles in a while. Man, they're good too.
Ooh. Yeah, you ought to come down, man. They got great wings.
I love that.
I have a
place.
Should order lunch from there.
Folks
we used to get lunch from there all the time.
I remember. I miss it.
And then Saturday I'll be at House of Blues from 6 to 11 in Orlando, downtown Disney. I'm out there 2 or 3 times a month on the front porch.
Oh, man.
And then the band plays inside there. And that's where we've done a lot of our opening jobs. Every couple of years or whatever, I get a cool opening job.
That's good, though. You're out there. You got your... man.
Yeah, I'm really fortunate. That was I had a friend who brought me in who was working there, Chuck
That's
Dinkins.
Good.
Yeah, and he's
there's a lot of people over there.
Oh yeah, it's kind of interesting because it's everybody who's there today is going to be back in Minnesota next week, so you can't really build a crowd.
No,
but my CDs have gone all over this planet from that
well,
location.
They'll hear your music and they'll listen to you. That's for sure, because the music is great, and you're going to always have a crowd over there, I think.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's a good consistent crowd, and they're in a good mood. They're on vacation in America or in Florida. If they're from up north, they're happy because they're not freezing their butts off. And,
yep, well, exactly.
And it's a happy place. Yeah.
How many times do you play over there a month? You said.
I usually do 2 or 3. I think I'm back there again at on the 2nd of February. I'll be at House of Blues the following. The next 2 Saturdays I'll be there, and next week I'm at Rusty's up at the Port on Thursday night.
It's a cool place.
Yep, that's a cool cool spot up there. I'll be at Billy Chapman Band will be at Bunky's Monkey Bar.
Oh, right down the road.
Yep, Monkey's Bar.
Couple streets down here.
Yep, that's on Friday the 18th, and then House of Blues on Saturday, and. I could go right on through the month. I got 23rd on Wednesday is I play by myself at River Rocks. Back at Doubles on the 25th. The Billy Chapman Band will play Key West Bar, which is one of our favorite haunts. We love the sound of that room.
Really?
Over Key West Bar on the corner of A1A there.
Yep.
And
that's just down the road too.
Yep. So we do a lot of, we try to move it around and keep it consistent and
I've only been in there once. I'll have to go down there.
It's a smoky bar if you're not into that, but it's they have in the winter they have the windows open, so it's really nice. Last week, or I guess a week and a half ago, we played there, and it was so much fun. It's because it's an intimate room. You're playing literally to people that are within 10 feet of you. And that's always been, as an acoustic guy, that's always been kind of home to me to play to people that are close, and I like that, which is
really neat.
That would be a
strange.
strange.
I didn't know you played down there. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah,
good.
Yeah, that's
and that'll be the band too, though, right?
That'll be we have that electric. That's
and
electric.
The Monkey Bar.
Monkey Bar will also be a trio. I'm playing electric guitar. I play my Telecaster there.
Good,
yeah,
good,
I enjoy that.
Bill Dietz and I will be down there. We'll come down.
Nice.
Oh yeah, we'll be there.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
It'll be nice to meet. We'll come down for sure.
Come down and bring the rotten tomatoes.
No. No, we're gonna come down here soon.
Yeah.
Billy just gave you a nice list of where he is the next couple of weeks, and Bill Dietz is over there. And Billy, we're going to go down there and see him down here at the Monkey Bar.
You got it, man.
we'll go over there. And the Key West, it's right down the road too, right? Key West.
Yep. Key West Bar, yeah.
Yep.
Used to play there. It was the Purple Pork.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. Bill Dietz played drums with the Million Tiny Fingers for a couple of years, didn't you?
Well, you too, to fit on that stage with everybody.
Yep.
Amazing.
That's right. We did. It was 5 of us. Well, we were all skinnier back then. You know, all those beers ago.
That's great. I love it. All right, well, I want to say to everybody, I was a lucky person today to have Billy Chapman to start off 2013 on the show. We're going to keep an eye on him. We're going to let you know where he's going to let us know where he's going, so we can let you know. We'll do that for Billy because he's been on the show, and we're going to let y'all know where he's going this year. And we'll let you know as he tells us, okay?
That's right. It's a beautiful thing. I can't thank you enough for having me.
We're right
It's
on the
really
beach
nice,
with you,
man.
and you're right down the road.
You got it.
We're beachside. I live right here, too. I'm right a couple streets away.
We're beachside guys. I hope to see you out in the lineup sometime surfing. You ever go out?
Too old.
Oh.
Too old for that.
Well, don't tell the guys at the break.
I'm afraid of jellyfish. I'm afraid of anything in the water.
Oh, are
I'm
you?
sorry.
Piece of seaweed touches his leg. Is oh my God! It's a
That's
shark.
it. But you'll find me out there with a 15-foot rod.
Oh, well, there you go.
Oh, no,
Catch
I'll
some dinner.
surf.
There you
That's
go.
all I do
Good.
is surf
All
fish.
right.
I don't fish in
Nice.
the river. Well, we want to thank you for watching the show today with Billy. We were honored to have him here today, and I'm thrilled to have him. I hope to keep in touch with Billy, and Billy will let us know. And Billy, you want to say one quick thing to the people before you go, maybe? Any advice for 2013?
Love one another. Try to forgive. It makes your life much better. Be kind. And go out and listen to some live original music. And live music, there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of young kids that are coming up. Play music. Be in it. Try it. Give it a shot. It can make your life much better. And or just some people just enjoy it. And whether you just enjoy it or you take pictures of it or whatever, there's so much that art brings to our lives.
Amen.
And to our lives. And I hope you guys can enjoy it and have a great year. And I really appreciate you having me today.
Great to have you. I love it. Thank you for watching the show. After 5 o'clock, it'll be at about 7 websites that you'll be able to watch it 24/7 on demand. ISWTVstudio.com, InsideTheSoundwave.com, ISWRecordingStudio.com, a whole bunch of sites. Watch it after 5. If you didn't get to see it live, you can watch it anytime for free. Billy Chapman. Thank you, Billy. God bless you.
Thanks, man.
Times it's off a new album as well. It's the only thing that keeps me from dying apart sometimes. When I think of you, and when I've been weary and far from home, and I miss you. When I think of you, when I think of you. Sometimes we get under, I'm afraid. when I think of you. When I think of you. When I think of you.